Man, it has been an absolute scorcher the past 2 weeks. We're gonna be pulling out the bike in a second, but before we get into this video, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor of this video and show you guys the Chem Moto backpack cam. You guys know my son, he's been riding the Dyna, going back and forth to work, going back and forth to school. He's been rocking the Chem Moto backpack, but this is something a little different, something a little smaller. It has the top zipper. You can place all your gear through the top. And then it has another zipper right here down the middle where you can stow a lot more gear as well. You got a compartment for a water bottle right there on the side. You have one also on this side. And then you also have some buckles and strap that actually you can loosen up to actually expand the backpack or tighten them up if you don't have that much stuff. If you don't want to take, say, a tour pack or another bag on your bike, and say you're going to the beach or whatever on a little short day trip, if you have camera gear, whatever, I rock the Chem Moto backpack when I'm riding on my sport bike, especially if I'm taking my GoPros and my camera or my drone. It's the best way and probably the only way to carry stuff on a sport bike, but you could also use this if you're rolling on a bagger. So check out the links, will be down below in the video description. Let's open the garage door and pull this puppy out. All right, gonna be another scorcher out today, so I'm doing this video super early for you guys. This video is going to be kind of just to reiterate about the previous video when I was in Laconia talking to Tim about the Apple CarPlay adapter that is under the seat, and also the kickstand switch, and also another component. I have them here so I could show you guys these pieces. I'll have links for you guys if you guys want to pick these up down below. Not sponsored or anything. I just, like I said, I always try to tell you guys the best things. Some are sponsored, some aren't, and even if they're not sponsored, if they're products that I believe they work good and I think you guys will benefit in having them, then obviously I want to share my information with you guys. So these are the products. This is the kickstand switch from Tim's stereo system, and again, I'm going to leave you guys links down below. This is the switch, the plug that goes under the seat. Super easy. There's a plug under the seat. You're going to take the dummy plug out, plug this in, and that's what kind of bypasses the Cardo, the Whim, whatever you want to call it. It just bypasses you not having to have a Cardo headset on the bike, near the bike, or plugged in to have Apple CarPlay. Then there's another switch, the kickstand switch, which I don't have another one to show you guys, but it basically, there's a switch under here, okay, right underneath the bike. You would probably have to lift the bike up in order for you guys to see that switch, but all you do, again, you just disconnect the harness from the switch and plug in that plug. Very, very simple. So what that switch does is, before I had the switch installed, if you wanted to use hill assist hold, you would be at, say, let's say you're at a traffic light, you're at a steep incline, you want hill assist, and you have it in first or neutral, whatever. In order to enable the hill assist, you have to squeeze the brake, and then the hill assist would come on, but you have to have the clutch in. And as I was explaining to you guys, that's just a huge pain in the neck. I just see no point of you having hill assist hold if you're still going to have your hand on the clutch. So that's the component that Tim makes that bypasses the kickstand switch, and then you're able to have the bike in neutral without holding the clutch in, and you could apply the hill assist hold, and you could take both of your hands off of the handlebars and just relax, you know, if you want to do that. I personally like that option. If I'm going to use hill assist hold, I don't want to have to keep my hand and you know, depressing the clutch lever. I just want to be able to relax. So that switch is really good. The second great reason for that kickstand switch is, what happens is, if that kickstand switch, say you're out in the middle of nowhere and that kickstand switch actually fails, the bike will not start. So if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're going to be in some pretty bad trouble. You're not going to be able to get the bike started. You're going to have to tow the bike to your local Harley Davidson dealer or to a shop and have that kickstand switch replaced. So what that plug does, it not only, like I said, does the hill assist hold, but it also eliminates that kickstand switch. So this way, no matter what, even if that kickstand switch fails, the bike is still going to run. Another thing is, it's been happening to people where if you're doing, say, a slow U-turn, this is where that is going to be a problem. If that kickstand switch fails, if you're doing a slow U-turn, you always need power to the rear wheel. If that switch fails, it's going to shut the motor down immediately, meaning it's going to kill the power to the rear wheel, and it's going to kill your forward movement, and you're probably going to fall over. Bike's going to come down and you're going to go down. So it's a safety thing. That switch is great. So then there's another plug right here. This is a basically like a power adapter, and it has leads right there where you could hook up your fog lamps to. So now I'm going to actually use that on a future video. When I get my Custom Dynamics fog lamps, I'm going to be installing some chrome small Custom Dynamics fog lamps right on the crash bar, and then I'm going to run the wire down. This light switch right here, or power switch I should say, it gets also plugged in right in the front underneath the bike. Super easy to do. So on previous models, say on Mad Max, when I had the fog lamps installed, or on Silverback, you would actually have to have the wires from the fog lamps routed up the frame. You have to take the tank off, run the wires underneath the tank. C has to come off and run them directly to a power source on your battery, or somewhere somewhere in your wiring harness. But this is going to actually, you're going to be able to plug in the power straight to this harness. So now you can go into the bike settings. Let me see. We'll find it together. Okay, so I found this. So now if you go into the system settings right there, if you scroll down and you go right here, bike function setup, you click on that, that's going to take you here. So here it says bike function setup allows installation and removal of electrical accessories on your bike. To install accessories on bike, turn bike off. Install the accessory on your bike, turn bike on. Open bike function setup menu. Change accessory to installed. Go to the bike function menu and turn accessory on. We're gonna hit continue. So right here, there's a area where you could front fog lights and you could turn it on, or cool flow fan and you could turn it on. We already have a fan on the bike. This is just, I guess, an extra auxiliary fan. But right here, front fog lights. So if we just tap that, see, I just turned it on, but I'm not gonna do that now because I don't have the plug-in. So when you plug this in underneath, it is going to give you guys power to these lights, or I should say to these wires right here. And in return, it's going to power your fog lamps. This way you do not have to run the wire up underneath the tank and underneath the seat. I think that is absolutely amazing. I love that Tim created this piece. So what he did tell me, just so you guys know, once you have this piece on and you install your fog lamps on the crash bar, you come here and you turn on the front fog lights. You will have power to the fog lights. They will come on with the light switch in the regular operation mode. But if you go to hit your high beams, those lights, the fog lamps, will shut off. That's just how it's designed. If you guys want the fog lights to stay on even when you turn on high beams, you're gonna have to take the bike to the dealer and they could actually change that, flash it, or not flash, but they actually, there's like a button just like that where they're gonna have to toggle on and off. If they toggle it on, then you will have power on those fog lamps, regardless whether the light switch is in the regular mode or the high beam mode. So I think that is really, really cool, and that's why I wanted one. And we will be installing that. Let me put these away. We will be installing that component as well. So that's the kickstand switch, and that's the light harness thing. And now we're gonna go over the Apple CarPlay. So a lot of you guys been asking me also what phone holder I use. Well, you guys know, again, not sponsored, Quadlock. I've been using the Quadlock system in the cars and the vehicles, on my sport bikes, on all the Harleys for the past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. And I think it's the best. It will never come off your bike, because this locking mechanism right here on the back, and here I'll show you guys how to do it. And the case is super streamlined and thin. So all you have to do is kind of turn it to the side. It pushes in, and then you're gonna turn it to the right. You could have the phone up and down, or if you push the back down, that kind of unlocks it. You could turn it to the side. And when I'm riding, that's how I normally keep it. If I'm in a map mode, or I keep it like this. It does not block the screen. It's great. Let me show you guys what's happening over here. So this is from Quadlock. Beautiful, beautiful chrome. They just came out with this chrome bar adapter, which is meant for the thicker bars. So they do have this also in black or in chrome. And then here I have a vibration damper, which is, I'm telling you guys now, don't even bother with this setup if you don't get the vibration damper, because what will happen, excuse me, what's going to happen is your camera on your phone it's going to be damaged and it will not work. So because that phone is not going to be on a vibration damper, because of the tremendous amount of shaking that is going to occur to the phone, it's going to damage your camera. Ask me how I know that, because it happened to me and I had to replace my phone. And it's really annoying. So what happens is, once you turn your phone on, you go to the camera, it seems like the screen is shaking because something happened within the camera, it got damaged, and then you can no longer take video or pictures. So definitely get this vibration damper if you're gonna go with it. And this right here is the wireless charging hub. So when I click it on, as long as I have it plugged in, it's going to be wirelessly charging my phone. But because this is the new model, and we know if you're not using the Cardo, you could come into that problem with the Apple CarPlay. So I'm not going to be actually plugging the wireless mounting hub directly in here. This is how I'm going to be running it, and I've had zero issues, zero problems with it. So first thing you're going to have to do is get that plug that I'm going to leave a link for you guys underneath the seat. It gets installed under the seat. Literally takes probably about 5 minutes to take the seat off and plug it in and put the seat back on. So right now I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to put my phone on the Quadlock base. So this is what I have been doing to use Apple CarPlay on my bike, and this is per Tim's recommendations. And since I left Laconia, I've never had a problem. Go into your phone, and while you're on the bike, turn Bluetooth off, okay? And then we're gonna go back to the regular screen. So now this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start the bike up. And as you guys will see, you're gonna see RC and a bunch of numbers. That's the plug right there, RC02, connection successful. So now what you wanna do, the phone is paired, the plug underneath the seat is paired. Underneath in the cubby, I have the wire. So I'm gonna plug that in. As soon as I plug that in, you're gonna see it's gonna go into Apple CarPlay. See? for the music. I have Apple CarPlay. So Apple CarPlay is up, my music is up, everything is there, phone. And what I do with the wire, there's like a little notch here. What I do with the wire is just basically put it in that little notch and close the cubby. And obviously I got my music. All right, guys, I wanted to shut the bike off so you guys could hear me clearly. So this is this is what I've been doing since I left Laconia. And before I did this, I had problems all the time. Mind you, I fully recommend you take in your brand new bike and make sure that your BCM software is updated. That's one thing that I did do. If you do have the stage 2 audio, make sure that the amp is also flashed. When I did bring the bike in because the radio wasn't working at Laconia, they did realize that there was a new software update for the BCM. So make sure you get that, because that controls basically all of the electronics for your entire bike, and that could give you a problem with the Apple CarPlay. So obviously, before you even do anything, make sure your BCM is upgraded to the correct newest version software. That I would fully recommend that. Amp, definitely have it flashed. And then after that, like I said, after I left Laconia, the entire ride home, the entire riding there, I was probably on the bike for another 600-700 miles. I never had Apple CarPlay disconnect from me, not even once. So that's what Tim told me to do. Make sure you have your Bluetooth off. You know, let the bike pair up with the plug, and then have this plugged in. And I know it may seem, like I said, you know, I hate cords sticking out, but that is the best fix for now if you do not want to use a Cardo headset. Am I going to get a Cardo headset for our cross-country trip? Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't know how much talking I really want to do on a trip. I'm not that type of person where I want to you know, talk on a trip. Like when I'm on the bike, I just want to relax and cruise, be in my own headspace, if that makes sense. And the only other reason I would get the headset would be for music, but I don't need that, because now the upgraded stage 2 audio sounds so good. Riding on the highway 80-90 miles an hour, I have the volume up literally halfway and I could hear the radio perfectly, so I really don't need it. I really can't show you guys how loud it is, because how YouTube works, you'll get a copyright strike when they hear music that is unlicensed. So but that's all I do, and the Apple CarPlay has been running perfectly. So let's do this. Let me see if it'll work starting the bike up with this plugged in. I just want to test it for myself and to show you guys. Just gonna let it go through its process, and then now we're gonna start the bike. Let's see, the RC02 should come up. Did come up. So you don't necessarily have to plug it in after the fact. You could have the bike plugged in, you could have the phone plugged in, start the bike up, and it'll work. Make sure you have Bluetooth off, and make sure this cable is plugged into the dongle. I no longer use that Bluetooth adapter system that's plugged into the dongle. I only use the plug that's under here. So hopefully this video helped. I just wanted to put out another video explaining to you about the Apple CarPlay. That's what I do. I've had 0 issues. It's always working. And hopefully it helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. Videos down below in the video description. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.